We are back! That's right, we are back to Football 101. I am your host, the Beetle. Yes, I am your host, the Beetle. And you know the season is officially over for the Miami Dolphins, for our Miami Dolphins. Oh, Lord, everything's going on in the studio. Things are falling down in the studio, and that is what happened with the Miami Dolphins. Yes, this is the Beetle, and I just want to give you an assessment of our season. Our season ended up in 8-9. 8-9. Wow, everything's falling up. Everything's falling. But guess what? It's a disappointment, but I'm still a fan. That's right, I'm still a fan of the Miami Dolphins. Let me just say this right now. See, I'm going right to the point. This is a show that's going to go right to the point. And guess what? Football 101 is going to do a streaming live show coming this Friday. We're going to be doing a streaming live show about the NFL playoffs. But for right now, I'm giving you an assessment, a breakdown of the key factors, really the key factors of what happened to our Miami Dolphins. And yes, like I said, I'm still a fins up. Still a Miami Dolphins. Because why? Because I come from, yes, old school. Back in the day, 1972. Following the Dolphins as a ninth grader. And recognizing they always had a special organization. Now, and the organization continues even today in 2025. Why is it so special? Because the Miami Dolphins organization has always been counter to the establishment. Counter to the establishment. And this season, with head coach Mike McDaniel, I'll get it out, Mike McDaniel, they're counter to the AFC, the NFC, and the entire football league. Why are they counter? Because offensively and defensively, they come in with a different mindset. Yes, they were 8-9, but there were so many off the field issues and on the field issues that caused the disappointment in our season. Yes, I hear all the so-called Dolphins fans calling for this firing of head coach, firing of the GM. But the owner, Ross, came out with the statement during the last game, and you've read it. And I really appreciate those who have analyzed his statement when he sent it out on X just a few hours after they lost against the Jets. He is reaffirming that head coach Mike McDaniel returns, that the GM returns, and they're going to get back to that championship philosophy. It's there. It is there. Now let's be real. See, I'm being real with y'all. As you know, I break down things with the help of Lindy Sports. Lindy Sports really breaks it down. And as I said, during the preseason, the Dolphins were actually picked number 2 in the AFC East. Yeah, let's be real. We were picked number 2 behind the Buffalo Bills. And Lindy Sports basically said this second season under, talking about last year, with Mike McDaniel, resulted in a rise in scoring offense and from 11th to 2nd total yards. The Dolphins increased their win. The Dolphins refueled their fast break offense with coordinator Vic Fangio coming to the Dolphins. And no, the edge rushers, Shaq Barrett and Chop Robinson didn't pan out. But they were picked second in the division. That's a reality. So many moving parts. Bringing in Odell Beckham Jr., which really didn't pan out. Several other players didn't pan, but who's really panned out? Smith, the tight end, came in and did a renowned performance and became a superstar. Let's be real, a superstar with the Miami Dolphins. Jonnu Smith became a his career was revigorated, and the rise of Ancient A-Chain surprised everyone in the backfield. And yes, I haven't even mentioned 2A. I'm going to get to 2A in just a second, but of course, have to mention Tyreek Hill. Disappointed, did not achieve his professional 1,000-yard catches, and we all know he said at the end of the game he's ready to leave. Disappointed. But let's be real, Tyreek, I love the brother. The brother's real. He's type A. But again, it was a level of maturity that he experienced this year for the first time. Check the rec. Check the post-game conference on Tyreek Hill. We started the season. Let's go back to the tape when Tyreek was arrested before the first game. Was shaken up on the first game, y'all. And we still won that game against Jacksonville. That disrupted a lot of chemistry. Disrupted, guess what? Tyreek had to go through a lot of stuff mentally. He also had, as he said, he said it at the end of the game. He was going through some stuff. Just being a person, being recognized that he's just a regular person outside of playing football. And fortunately, that was resolved. But there was other things. Tyreek talked about his family life, being a new dad, learning to be professional on and off the field. That's a big deal for a lot of players. Why do I say this? Because, yes, the Beetle, who's a former player back in the day, high school and college, not professional, high school and college. So I got a small sense of what professional athletes really have to go through. And Tyreek was telling it from the start this year. And they were just trying to get chemistry with 2A. And we all know that 2A unfortunately had that serious concussion during game number 2 against the Bills, in which they lost. Game number 2. And at that point in time, as y'all know, each and every one of you thought the season was over. Completely over. Come on. Completely over. Yet they still finished second in the AFC. They still finished with a home record of 5-3. Away record 3-6. And they lost the last game against the Jets, as you know. But 2A had the concussion from game 2, and then he had the hip injury, which left him out of the Cleveland game, the second to last game, and the Jets game, the last game. And just putting all of that together, along with, as you know, Mike McDaniel's system. Now let me just say this right up. I'm a big fan of head coach Mike McDaniel. Yeah, this was just his 3rd year head coach, coming from San Fran and beating his mentor Shanahan, the 49ers. Remember that game where he beat the 49ers? with backup quarterback Snoop. With backup quarterback. Oh, no, that was Tua. Tua was playing that. I'm sorry, my bad. But he still beat. He still beat Shanahan. December 22nd. That was a big game. Oh, by the way, yes, that game inspired. If you play the tape back and look at the post game and in the locker room, when the owner, Ross, came down to the locker room and gave a game ball to head coach Mike McDaniel. That told me right there that he was coming back. Play the tape, look at the video, and see that the owner, Ross, and how excited the players were after that San Francisco win. And we managed to win it against, again, McDaniel against his mentor, Shanahan. And the excitement. And to recognize that the Dolphins were still at that time, available to get into the playoffs. They made themselves available to still be in the wild card game. And even the week after that with Cleveland, they were still in the wild card hunt, the game to get into the playoffs. And now let's break it down. They were eliminated, and most of the players know, now this is a business decision, most of the players know that the only way they were going to get in the playoffs if the Broncos lost against the Kansas City Chiefs in that last game, in which the Kansas City Chiefs didn't play any of their starters. And they handed the win to the Broncos immediately. So the players on the Dolphins knew there was no chance for them to get into the playoffs. So a lot of players were making business decisions. That's what players do. Fans don't realize that. These so-called hosts, yeah, I'm calling you out. You diehard hosts of different shows that I've been viewing again and again and again throughout this season. That's the difference. Players gotta, unfortunately, protect themselves. And a lot of players protected themselves on the Dolphins team that last game when they knew that their chances of getting to the playoffs were very, very slim because of the events happening in Kansas City and Denver. So what am I saying about this Dolphins team overall? I am surprised. Yes, I am surprised that they really came in second place in the AFC with an 8-9 record. Yes, the Beetle is still surprised that they came in second place with an 8-9 record and still had a chance to make the playoffs. This is where the die-hard Dolphins fan need to slow down and appreciate how unique this team still is. Regardless of the GM, and I heard all the stuff about the GM. I'm not crazy about the GM either. But there's going to be some big changes offensively that will occur in the offseason. Hello. Everyone is accountable. What are their needs? A number one quarterback. Hello. Number 1A and 1B. Simple as that. Yes, the Beetle is calling out 2A. The owner is calling out 2A. McDaniel is calling out 2A. Tyreek Hill called out 2A. Because you can't really, this offense is so intricate, so detailed, so timely. And Tyreek said it again and again. 2A said it again and again. You got to put the work in throughout the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those are the days to get it down. and if you don't have your quarterback there, and you have a backup quarterback that's trying to figure out this complicated system, it's just not going to work. So they need a 1A and 1B quarterback. They need an experienced, high-level, superstar quarterback with 2A. Simple as that. Simple as that. Because we know 2A, we don't know if he's going to show up. We don't know if 2A is going to show up. And I really, really like the brother. I really love to see how he performs at a higher level. And Mike McDaniel really put his time and effort to healing the mental aspect of 2A after what he experienced with the previous coach. Hello, we know what the previous head coach did to 2A, because 2A talked about it during the preseason. Hello. So 2A was going through some mental healing during preseason and at the beginning of the season. Mike McDaniel did his psychological, theoretical, high level, deep thinking, complicated treatment with this high price football player, marketing player of 2A. It's amazing what he did with 2A to get him to perform at that level. And unfortunately, 2A made a bonehead mistake and got himself injured in that Bills game by going head first. So right then and there, the entire team, it was just not McDaniel, the entire team was pissed off. Tyreek said it. The running back said it. Mozart said it. They said, if you're the leader, you got to make smart business decisions and not jeopardize yourself. So at game 2, that's when the chemistry and the connection amongst the players, and it's so glad. Let me give a shout out to Calais Campbell. Man, Calais Campbell, his veteran leadership brought that dog mentality to the defense. Calais Campbell, my gosh, he was that backbone. And let me give a shout out. Of course, I got to give a shout out to my boy, Jalen Ramsey. Yeah, he got burned a few times, but he really made some critical plays. So give it up to Jalen Ramsey on the defensive side. And our defense, is shaky. It's still shaky, but we need some power rushers, power edge rushers. And we need that down person, that nose tackle that can plug up those holes. So yes, there's some strong needs on the defense. And several of the players, the edge rushers, must be let go. Again, Bradley Chubb, we know he's gone. Shaquille Barrett just didn't work out. So we need some strong primetime edge rushers and some better. The linebackers got better, but we need some hitters. And I think the defensive backs were efficient enough, but we need obviously a stronger defense. Just but the defense did show itself by the end of the season and play some outstanding ball in Cleveland and also against San Francisco. We just didn't show up at that Houston game. When it was on the road in Houston, the team didn't show up. That was a game that we could have won, but offensively and defensively, they didn't show up. I think they spent all their energy on those Jets, that New York Jets game on December 8th. And then they don't travel well before then, November 28th to Green Bay. as you know, the Dolphins don't travel well and they don't play well in the cold weather. And let me just say, I got to say this. Regardless if you're playing with Miami Dolphins, you play in the cold, you're going to play in the cold weather. And every NFL player knows knows that they're going to play in the cold weather. There's no excuse. Particularly that last game. That last game in New York. In which the quarterback was not feeling comfortable playing in cold weather. Wow. That should not occur. That should not occur. So, again, it's about being professional. And they showed their lack of maturity, no doubt about that. The Dolphins need more veterans, true veterans that are going to grit it out. We need true leadership. And I'm calling out 2A. I'm calling out Tyreek while he still is with the team. Come on. Because, again, we need strong leadership and being real. And we need a 1A, 1B quarterback. The system that they're running works. When it's in the groove, it works to a higher level. I haven't seen an offense so intricate, but it's very timely. That's the detail of McDaniel. It's a fast-paced, intricate game. And yes, McDaniel, in his third year, still is learning how to call plays, to get in the groove, to get the team back. He's still learning, like most of us in life, like most of us in our professional jobs. How many of you, tell me about it, at your job, do you get it right each and every day? Let's be real. I'm calling out the fans. At your job, do you get your job right every day? No. Nobody does. No, none of us do. The Beetle does it. I make mistakes regularly at my job, at my real job. So give Coach McDaniel a break. He's a young coach coming back for his 4th year in the NFL as head coach. 4th year coming back. There will be improvement. There will be mistakes. But he's an innovative coach. And I say, the Beetle says, at least give him 4 years. I know everyone wants a championship immediately, but give him at least 4 years. The 4th year. Don't Yankee, give him the full 4th year. Not a half a year. Not a portion of the year. A full year 4. And then at that point in time, ownership needs to make a change in the head coaching as well as the GM. So yes, 4 years for Coach McDaniels, 1 more year for the GM, and that's when you're going to make wholesale changes. But again, this offseason, I expect big changes in the off season. Big changes offensively, and need to bring in some good young talent in the draft. And you can bring young talent in the draft. And I would go for that edge rusher. And I would go for make a trade for a big name quarterback. 1A, 1B. So if 2A gets hurt, or the other one, and then you have to be competitive during training camp. Because this is professional. Everyone, including 2A, including all the marketing around 2A. Because that's, if once Tyreek Hill leaves, if he leaves, what's the marketing? What's the promotion? So Tyreek Hill, you know, I love you, brother. But I let me just say I'm disappointed in your leadership. Disappointed. I'm a big Tyreek Hill fan. I'm a big Tyreek ill fan. When he was KC and here at Miami. So again, it's about maturity. It's about leadership, recognizing the business of the NFL, business of following through on your words as a leader, as a captain. And I didn't even say anything about my boy Waddle. Waddle, again, Jalen Waddle handles a lot of the stuff. He's a quiet guy, but he speaks up when it's necessary. But Jalen Waddle, he proved it again this year. Stepping up, making plays, making touchdowns. And again, H.A. superstar elevated his game. Other wide receivers elevated their game. Jonnu Smith came in, returned to be a superstar. And if you see his press conference, post-conference, he's so genuine, man. And he admitted, he talked about his position coach that pushed him even more this year. It's the intangibles, y'all. You got to look at the intangibles, what's happening on the field, but really off the field for these high-level athletes that's going through a lot of stuff just to perform on Sunday. So I appreciate, the Beetle appreciates everyone who supported and really gave their all for the Miami Dolphins this season. Because I'm a diehard fan. Yeah, I have my teams in the past, recent past, that I follow. But I'm 66 years of age, by the way. Yeah, the Beetle, 66. I played the game way back in the day. And the one team in the NFL that really got me involved in the AF was the Miami Dolphins, y'all. So I'm back with the Miami Dolphins after loving on the Steelers, the Broncos, the Patriots, Tampa Bay Bucks. And now I am committed all the way through with the Miami Dolphins, y'all. Yeah, I was there during the Marino years. Duper, my boy Duper, and his trio of wide receivers that he threw. The famous game, the long game. Oh, I'm just blanking on the names. That classic game that went in overtime. They had to drag the players off the field. No, that was what you call. No, that was another team. That was actually I'm blanking. That was the Chargers back in the day. That was a classic. But Dan Marino, love Dan Marino, man. Come on, and Dan Marino, he's still in the front office. He knows what's going on. Come on, and Marino, he's going to say what he needs to say. And as long as Marino's in the front office, I'm good. I'm good. Marino, Dan Marino, I'm good. The Dolphins still good with me. So yes, this is the Beetle. The title of this show, finishing out the 2024 season, Dolphins disappoint, yet still a fan. That's right, still a fan. This is the Beetle. This is Football 101. It's been a great season. Yes, we finished 8-9, second in the AFC, yet we're still moving forward. And we're going to keep this Dolphins magic rolling on to 2025. That's the way I see it. That's the way the Beetle calls it. And if you have any comments or questions, please email me. Please comment. Please like. Please subscribe to Football 101. Because we just getting started in 2025. See ya!